Hello and welcome to Quick Start to Coding with Swift. Please may I introduce my co-host, Matt. Matt Hanlon is a long-time software developer, coach, teacher and dad in Ireland.
Thanks, Steve. And may I introduce Steve Bunce, an author, teacher, associate lecturer, and dad in the northeast of England.
Thanks, Matt. Today we are looking at functions. When we find ourselves using a sequence of commands often, or in a unique pattern, we will want to group these commands together to form our own new command. We call this a function. So we're both very excited. Let's get started. Welcome to the unplugged part of the session. This is Jimu, the MeBot, doing a very special dance and following a set of instructions to do that dance. Hold it there, Mimu. Oh, good stance. So, during EU Code Week, we have a special piece of music which has been composed called the Ode to Code, and also we have a special dance which goes with it. And today we're going to learn that dance and follow the steps to do it. Now, a dance is a form of an algorithm, and we've been learning about how you take steps to do the algorithm. The more precisely you follow those steps, the more accurate the outcome will be, and the better your dance. So, to learn the Ode to Code dance, our first step is to put both hands up in the air. Now, with both arms up in the air, you then flop forward as though you were asleep, or if you've been switched off. And then on. And with your left hand, we'll go down and round to your head, and your right hand down and round to your head again. And we do a little shake. Next step is to put your left hand down, and then go down, up. And then we repeat that, but a bit faster, down, up. And as we do that, we then jump to the right. So we're going to turn right 90 degrees. And then we do that move again. So down, up, and jump back to the front. And we bring our left arm up and we start again. So switched off and on, left arm down and round, right arm down and round, little shake. Left arm down, up faster, and jump to your right, down, up faster, and jump back round to the front, and back up, ready to start again. So are you ready, Jimu? Shall we do that together? Are you ready? Arms up, off, on, down and round, little shake, one arm down, up, down, up, back to the front, arms up, off, on, down and round, little shake, arm down, up, back round to the front, arms up, and ready to go. Off, on, arm round, little shake, and then arm down, up, jump, down, up, back round to the front, and arm up, and there we go. So thanks, Jimu. Now, here I don't have enough room to do this dance, so I think I'm going to go outside and do some dancing. So we'll have some music, and we'll do the dance and see if you can follow along those steps of the algorithm. Are you ready? Oh, I think I need my special dancing shirt to go out. So I shall see you in a moment, and let's go dancing. Well, wasn't that fun? Whew. Great dancing, everyone. So, today we've been thinking about an algorithm and the steps which form the algorithm. A dance is like an algorithm, and if you follow those steps precisely, then you too can be an excellent dancer. So thank you all, and keep dancing.
Hey there, Boris.
We are very excited this morning to be joined by Earlston Primary School in the Scottish Borders. Hello, everybody there.
Say hello.
Hello. And I've been really enjoying everybody's dancing this morning. So I've been watching the class and they've been following an algorithm to do that ode to code dance. So I have a question. Can anyone let me know what is an algorithm?
So what is
Yeah.
Put up your hand and we'll get some, so we'll go over to you. Okay.
Algorithm is a set of commands.
Brilliant. Thank you.
So,
Yeah, a set of commands. Excellent.
Okay.
And we have followed a set of commands this morning to do that ode to code dance, which is a special dance for Code Week.
Okay. And here we have another one.
The amount of like a set of steps you like follow to do something, like a dance or
Okay.
so
A set of instructions.
yeah, basically what I mean.
Yeah.
great.
Perfect. Yes, a set of instructions, a set of commands to do, and you gave an example there to do a dance. Does anybody else have an example of a set of instructions they might follow?
So a set of instructions. Can you think of an example? A set of instructions. Right, hang on. We've got somebody over here.
A job you have to do.
A job that you have to do. A
Mhm.
process of a job. Yes, good.
That's right, a job. So this morning you probably followed some instructions when you were out at school. Yeah.
That's right. Within your lessons. What else? Where else do you follow a set of instructions? Think about what maybe your mum does at home for dinner. What does your mum follow to make something?
Recipe?
A recipe. That's right. Set of instructions for a recipe. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yes. Now, this morning I was coming live from different places. Did anyone recognize any of the places we were this morning?
Yes, then recognize we were this morning.
Put your hands up if you know where that was being filmed. Right. Do you know? Yes, Newcastle upon Tyne.
That's
Which-
right. And
just
did you
down
see
the-
any landmarks? Any places you recognise in Newcastle there?
Yeah, what were the landmarks? Yes. Right, the Angel of the North.
Mm.
That's right, the big statue there. What else did you see? I think CERN
Yes, it was where I graduated, the Sage.
Oh, yes, exactly, yes.
That's right. Did
That's
you
right.
go to Newcastle?
Yeah, I graduated in the graduation ceremony was in the Sage.
Oh,
It
was
was
in
an
the
amazing
Sage.
building, yeah.
Ah, fantastic.
That's cool.
Brilliant. So we would like to say thank you for your wonderful dancing. We're going to go in a moment to go and see Matt, and Matt's going to tell us a little bit about instructions and following the algorithm. And you're going to see our little robot here, and you're going to be able to work with that robot. Okay. So just before we go, do you think you could show me the Ode to Code dance moves? Are you ready?
Right.
Arms up
So the dance moves.
and down
Down
and up again.
and up.
An arm around,
Arm around.
arm around,
Arm around.
little shake,
Shake.
arm down,
Arm down.
down up,
Down up.
faster,
Faster.
and turn to the right,
And turn to the right.
down up faster,
down up faster,
and back to the front.
and back to the front.
Brilliant. And last instruction, give yourselves a round of applause. Thank
Nice
you very
job.
much.
Nice job.
Thank you. We'll come back in a moment and see your ideas around coding. So thank you very much, Ayleston Primary. And
Yeah,
we're going over
thank you,
to Matt for
guys.
coding.
Some coding. So today we're talking about functions. Yesterday we did a little bit with commands, which we walked through today. We had a set of commands that we learned for that dance. And we're grouping them all together into a thing called the EU Code Week dance. So Steve can say, hey guys, go do the EU Code Week dance. And you guys know the set of commands that you could go through to perform the dance. So we're going to do something similar in code today. So we're going to open up Swift Playgrounds again. And we're going to use the MeBot 2.0 Dances Playground. So if you don't have this downloaded already, remember, you're going to hit See All in More Playgrounds. We have to do a few extra steps to get this playground. So we would go way down to the bottom. And we're looking for a subscription from other publishers. So mine is way at the end here. We're looking for the UBTech Jimu Robots feed. So I would tap on that, and it will add this set of playgrounds to my Swift Playgrounds app. And then I'm going to hit Get on the MeBot 2.0 Dances Playground. So I already have it downloaded, so I'm going to open that one up. It's going to ask me if I want to open it because it's from a third party. I definitely do. So we get introduced to MeBot 2.0, the buildable, programmable dance robot. And we can, just like the Learn to Code 1 playground, we can tap through the arrows here. And we're going to get shown the dance moves of that robot. So we see some code-looking things. We've seen a few of these. They look like commands that we've seen before. There's a couple extra wrinkles thrown in there that we'll show you. And there's some extra fancy stuff here that we'll talk about tomorrow when we get to loops. But we're going to learn how to create a function so that we can define a dance with a certain number of steps and then call it again and again. It does mention that Learn to Code 1 is a prerequisite for this playground, but we're gonna jump right in. We've got our little introduction to the playground. So let's begin. So it's going to ask me if I want to connect to Bluetooth. I don't have a Jimu in front of me here, so I can say yes or no. It doesn't matter. I'm going to say OK. But if I did have one, I'd be able to connect to it and program my little avatar of the robot here, as well as the actual robot on my desk. So the very first goal here is to connect to a robot and see a dance performed by the real robot. But we're going to start with is we're just going to dance. We're going to see what this dance command does. So I'm going to hit run. And there we go. I've got my robot dancing. Cool. Looking pretty good. There's a lot of moves involved in this dance. Oh, pretty good. We're shaking our arms, shaking our legs. All right, that's our dance. So we've run our command dance, and there were a whole set of moves that the robot performed when we called that function. We were calling them commands yesterday. We can kind of use those words interchangeably. This is a function that we're going to call, and we're going to see how to write one of those ourselves so we can start building up our own commands. So let's go on to the next page by tapping the next page link. So in here, just like we had in the playground yesterday, we have an area where we can tap to enter code. And the goal here is to use Swift commands to tell MeBot 2.0 to perform dance moves. So we need to use at least 8 dance moves, 4 of which should be different. So let's tap in here to enter code. And I can see right away, I've got a whole bunch of commands down here at the bottom. So you come up with a series of dance moves that are going to satisfy these rules over here. 8 dance moves, 4 of which should be different. I'll start picking out mine, you pick out yours. So I'm going to start with a greeting. This is a good way to start a dance. Maybe followed by, if I tap here and move to the side, I'll see that there are more commands. I'm going to try doing the swing. Maybe I'll move to the left, move to the right. So that's 4 commands so far. I'll move to the left, move to the right again. I could just have the robot move to the right constantly. Let's see, what else will we do? Maybe we'll do happy and cheer. Is that 8? Let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. All right, that's cool. I've got my 8 commands. Let's try running it. Just like in the Learn to Code 1 playground, we have a hint. So we can take a look and see, okay, great. We have to enter basic move commands to make MeBot 2.0 dance. Basically gives us the same instructions. Let's run our code and see what we get. All right, there's our greeting. Oh, that looks like it's the swing. Now I'm guessing, but there's a way, do you remember yesterday, we found a way of highlighting which line of code was being run. If I wanted to know exactly what was being run and which dance move I was running now, I could use the step slowly command. So here we go. That maybe is happy, maybe cheer. I'm not 100% sure. So now we know how to use basic dance commands. If we stop this and we use the speedometer here, we can say step through my code. And this way I'll be able to see which line of code, which command is resulting in which set of actions over on the other side. So this is very like what we did with Byte yesterday, getting Byte to walk around the puzzle and collect gems. So there we go. Now we're in move to left. That's move to right. That's another move to left. And this is great. This lets me see what exactly is involved in each one of these steps. That's happy. There's a lot of different moves involved in the happy command. And then cheer. So let's go on to the next page and figure out how we might build our own function. Because if we look at these are a series of complex movements. Somebody's written some code to run a series of commands that we pass to the robot and have it move its arm or its leg. So if we hit next page, now we get to get really powerful in terms of our coding knowledge. We're using this thing called a function. And we have this keyword here, func, that is short for function. And this is telling Swift, hey, the next word here, my dance routine, and you'll notice that it's a bunch of smushed together words again. We've taken out the spaces, and then we've used camel case. Remember, that's the first letter is lowercase, and then the next word, instead of having a space between it and the previous word, we've just capitalized the first letter. So we have my dance routine. So I can read this almost like an English language sentence. So I've called my function my dance routine. And then we call it down below like this, just like we did yesterday with move forward, collect gem, toggle switch, and turn left. And I have an area here where I can tap to enter code. So I'm going to tap to enter code, and let's read the instructions here. So we're going to use a function to create a dance routine for MeBot 2.0. So it's a series of steps. I want to build my own unique dance routine. And what I can do is if I enter in all the code in here inside these curly braces here, that'll be a function that I can call again and again. So I can create a really complex dance routine. And I just have to type it once. And then every time after that, I only need to call it by my dance routine. Just like we did yesterday with move forward. So let's see. I've got some options here. I'm going to pick greeting, happy. Let's see. We'll move backward. We'll move forward. What else will we do? We'll do the swing. So these steps are going to get run when someone calls my dance routine. So let's try running this code. So there we go. We've got our greeting, it looks like. Now that looks like the happy move. Pretty good. Now we look like we're moving backward. Now we're moving forward. And now we're swinging. Now I'm guessing a little bit because I didn't step through it slowly. So I could actually see it if I were stepping through it slowly. All right, so I've created a new dance routine, but let's take a second to walk through that. So we're gonna close that, and I'm gonna use the speedometer again to step through my code slowly. And what we see is our little carrot started down here and then jumped up here. So what Swift does is when we write code like this that says func my dance routine, we're just telling Swift, hey, remember this for later. I'm gonna call you with my dance routine, but I've just defined it here so that I can save myself some work later on down the line. This is a hugely powerful programming tool. And we'll see that when we go back to Learn to Code 1, we might want to define a function. So far we only have 4 commands, right? We have move forward, we have collect gem, turn left, and toggle switch. What happens if we want to turn right? How would you turn right with just a turn left, move forward, collect gem, and toggle switch? Put the answer in the comments if you want. Or maybe we'll even have an answer from the Borders guys when we get back to them in a second. So we've created our new dance routine. So to turn right, I might have to have a series of commands. Maybe I use turn left a few times. But instead of having to type turn left a few times every time I want to turn right, I might want to create a new function called turn right. And then I would add the steps that I need to perform to get my character to be turning right. So let's move on to the next page. And now we're going to create a really complex dance routine. We can see here that we can control the different motors on the MeBot. So if you actually have one in front of you, you're incredibly lucky. But even if you don't, we still have our virtual one here. So it tells us that there are a few functions that we can call, or commands. And in this case, we can pass in other information to these commands. This is again making functions even more powerful because when we can pass in a number, like in this case, we can say move left arm, and we can pass in a number to determine how much or how little the MeBot is going to move its arm. So let's take a look at that. These are called parameters. These things, this extra information that you pass into functions are called parameters. So here we have our move left arm function. We've got our parentheses. Remember we had those in our move forward command and our toggle switch and collect gem. Now we've put something in between them. We put a parameter in there. Now someone, just like we had to define my dance routine previously, someone had to define this function. Someone had to write this code first. So it says angle here because that's the name of the parameter. And then the colon tells me what comes next is going to be the value I want to give it. So let's move the left arm 45 degrees. So we'll say 45. If we want to know what kind of parameters we can use, they actually have a definition up here. It says, here's the range of MeBot 2.0 servo motors. If we tap on the here's, we can see what values we can pass in. So minus 110 to 75. Now what would happen if you typed in 100? Now we can try it out. That's the nice thing about Swift Playgrounds, is we can just try it out and we'll see. If we get an error, we get an error. So let's try that. I'm going to bring up the keyboard by tapping on that little caret in the bottom here. And I'm going to type in 100. Now it's also telling me to move my body. I can put in some code here. See, there are brackets, so we know that these are all going to run together. And let's see, maybe we'll move the left foot 25. We'll hit return. And then we'll start typing. I saw another one that was move right foot. So we'll start typing move right foot. I'm using camel case, so that's good. I get my parentheses here over the H. I drag down, but I have a small problem. If I look at this, I can see that red dot. When I tap on it, it tells me insert comma. And there's a fix button, which is kind of handy. But now I'm having another issue saying missing argument label beats in call. It says, oh, insert beats. All right, I can fix it. At this stage, I don't know that my code is going to run. If I hit run my code, it's saying cannot invoke move right foot with no arguments. Okay, I'm completely lost. So if we remember from yesterday, we have a handy safety net. I'm going to go up to the three dots and I'm going to go hit reset page. When we start dealing with parameters and functions, we have to be very careful about where we start our next line, and we have to make sure that the parentheses match. And there's lots of things that we have to worry about because Swift can be kind of picky. We need to make sure that we're typing in exactly what we want Swift to do. So let's try that again. We're going to still experiment with our left arm angle. We are going to try moving it 100. And in move body, I'm going to try again to move my left foot. Let's move it 45 degrees. Now before I hit the return key, I need to get my cursor, this blinking line here, at the end of the line. So when I tap to the end of the line, it highlighted the whole function that I'm calling. So I just need to sort of peck at it a little bit, try to get it to the end. If I can't, I can always tap once and then tap and hold and drag my finger to the end. So I just tapped and held right here, and then while I was still pressing, drag to the end, and then I can hit the return key to get to the next line. This can be a little bit tricky, and if you get stuck, don't worry about it. You've always got that reset button. So we've moved the left foot. Let's move the right foot. It's like we're doing a version of the hokey pokey. Now, an easier way to get to the end is if I press and hold on the space bar, my keyboard will go gray, and then I can drag to the end, and then hit return. That's another way to get to the end of the line. And then the last thing I'm going to do is move my right arm. And again, we'll stay consistent, we'll move it 45 degrees. So I think I'm ready to run my code. What code do you have in there? Let's see what they look like. Let's compare them. So I'm going to run my code. The MeBot's going to move his left arm 100 and then move the body. And you notice that all those ones inside the move body braces, they all ran at the same time. So what kind of movements can you get your Jimu to do? We can add in a ton more actions in here. We have a lot of stuff to play around with. Or maybe you really like the idea of that function. We can go back to the basics move page and we could create a function here. So if I hit return, I could type in a function. Instead of having to remember exactly the syntax, I can go up to the plus button here. And then I have a list of all these cool Swift keywords that I can use. So I'm going to use the func keyword here. Going to give it a good name. So I'll tap on name there, and I'll call it my cool function. You'll see this is grayed out my parentheses in case I wanted to add parameters that I'm going to pass in. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it simple. But I'm going to tap on my function body because this is where I'm going to group my code that I want to get run in a certain order. So my cool function, let's see, I'll do cheer, greeting, move forward, and then move to the left. That's going to be my cool function. Now, one thing to note about Swift is that if I want to call this function, or if you're writing your own function, I can't call it above here because I haven't defined it yet. Swift doesn't know anything about my cool function. I could start typing my cool function, but it won't run. It'll give me an error. So what I have to do is bring the cursor way down here. And now I'll even see, I'll start typing move my little helper there, my cool function. And remember, I need to use the parentheses at the end. And let's run our code. In fact, tell you what, I'm going to actually get rid of all the other code. So we can just run we'll run greeting, and then we'll run my cool function. So let's step through that. Go, there's our greeting. We skip over my cool function because that's just where it's defined. We jump down here and then we jumped back up to where it was defined, and now we're running through the code there. And that's how you define your own function. Now look, this is our first day defining functions, so there's going to be a lot of practicing that you need to do. But I think with time, you'll find that it's an incredibly powerful tool. All right, let's go back over to Scotland and see how they're doing.
So, Kevin is
Hello,
Yes.
Elston Primary.
Hey
Hello,
there,
hello,
guys.
hello. Hello.
sending that link as well.
So this morning
Yes.
we have been thinking about functions, and the school we're working with this morning is working together with Swift Playgrounds. Hello, hello, hello. So we are just saying that that Ilston Primary, the children are just back from their break, and they've just started to learn to code with the Swift Playgrounds. And also that today we've been looking at the Swift Playground, which is with the MeBot, the Jimu MeBot. And this week we're taking just little tastes of the types of things you might do. So what the children started with yesterday with their Learn to Code, there's lots of lessons building up as we go, and they can start to learn about different parts of code. So we've jumped today to look at something slightly different to give a taste of what functions would be like. So we're very excited to return back to the classroom there. Do you think we could ask some more questions, please? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, lovely. So could you please ask, what have the children enjoyed doing with their coding, please?
Okay, so who would like to tell us what you were enjoying with doing with the coding today? What was it what did you get out of it today? Nice clear voice.
I enjoyed it and making dance moves.
So making the dance moves, yeah,
Mm,
That's
and
cool.
being in control.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
lovely.
Okay, over here. Yes.
How to know how to add music and do more dance moves.
Okay, so how to add the music, how to do more dance moves.
That's brilliant. Could we have a look at your iPad screen, please? Is that okay to see?
Right, do you want to run it? Can you play it? Okay,
Wow, look at those colours.
that's right. Oh yeah, pulled it up, that's right. So all the colours changing. Okay.
Brilliant. And is there maybe something that's they found tricky or a bit difficult today?
Having to like get all the codes right.
Mm-hmm.
That is the hardest thing in programming for sure.
Brilliant. And when did you start using Swift Playgrounds?
When we were doing homeschooling.
Homeschool.
Ah,
Lovely.
cool.
Yes. Brilliant. So with the Swift Playgrounds, we have some code we've been using today, and you've been doing that at homeschool, and you've been doing that in the classroom there. That's brilliant. So to help us with that, on the web page we've been using today, there are some example bits of code you can copy as well if you want to try out some other bits of code. And also, your video today has been recorded. So when Matt's been going through the code, you could watch that again and pause it at any point if you wanted to look at some of the things again.
Yeah.
But I'd like to ask one more question then. So, oh yes, over there, we can see in the corner someone's got their hand up. Do you think they'd like to share what they've got? That'd be great.
Okay.
That there was lots of like different things you could do, and it wasn't just the dance moves that you could do. Like you could change, like Kian was saying, with like you could change like the lights and like the music, and there was like lots of dance moves to choose from, I guess.
And lots of dance moves to choose from.
Yeah.
So big selection.
Yeah.
Basically. So you weren't limited.
No.
That's brilliant. So today we have been limited to start with the Ode to Code dance. It only had so many moves in there. But you've seen with the robot that you can start to use your own ideas and your own creativity to make more things. Now, tomorrow, we won't be limited by the Ode to Code dance. Tomorrow, there is the Renegade dance, and there is the Banana Milkshake dance, which is Banana Meatball dance, which is a favorite of mine. So we've been learning today about functions, and I've been so thrilled to see what you've been doing there in Ilston. And we're going to say goodbye for this morning, and a huge thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Clap. Yeah.
Yeah, great job coding. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. This is what real programmers use, and you guys have just started. This is very exciting. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. We shall say goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.